Vamos lá continuar essa jogatina aí, galera.
Can be the answer to all your...
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think?
Most of...
Is there any...
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know...
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to... Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack.
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages, their appearance. Jesus.
You'd better not come back here. I'm looking...
Dorothy Crane, bless her soul.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Goodbye.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Mr. Babe. Since I took...
Well, seen better days.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people.
What? You give me this for free?
Good.
Nobody at home. I cannot enter.
Step away.
Dilate!
Case de pose.
It's locked, all right.
I will return later.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough.
You've wasted your life away. Me, I'll not die in some piss stick.
A lot of people are talking about this. Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby. This district seems to get
There's no one in.
every year.
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Step away, sir.
Burn it, boys!
I hate leeches! Back in the trap! Die, beast! Fucking beast! I hate leeches!
Let's pin it down!
Killing's all you can do! Die, beast! I hate leeches!
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you?
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists
Quite.
believe.
I am. What do you mean?
All
Quite.
for you.
Well,
That's
what...
a bit.
Good evening.
It's,
Do you know...
I don't like the liberal ideas of nursing.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale?
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fibre.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get...
Have you any friends?
No. But I have a disciple.
Where did you send...
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the...
As a true believer. Sam...
I have heard it... Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, Who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear doctor.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I will see you later. I'll leave.
There is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this?
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel.
Dr. Reed, the famous...
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
What is a journalist doing in this borough?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Goodbye, Mr.
I cannot enter.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know you understand what I'm saying. Very well. Hello again, Miss. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. You don't seem to need my medical attention for now. Very well.
Leech spotted!
Shit, that leech is fast!
Stay back, beast! The power of the Lord commands you! God walk!
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic...
I don't like doctors or hospitals.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I will... Tell me about it.
Are you joking with me? People don't...
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Many people must deal with poverty, but not all choose to sell their bodies. That was your decision.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what or when you were going to eat?
Justo.
Goodbye, miss.
Mas a gente vai conversar, né?
Excuse me, sir. I have...
Another journalist?
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you say?
Really? But still, here...
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking.
Have you heard of a nurse named...
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries...
May I ask what you...
I do whatever I want, and sometimes...
According to you, physicians...
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you?
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye.
Cheap price, good quality. Cut. Welcome, sir.
I'm Dr. Reed.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Luke.
Right then.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is working nearby.
No one's there.
Colossus. Perhaps I should look into it. Christina.
It's locked.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
It's all a bloody joke to you, innit? Stealing drugs from the sick and suffering.
There's nobody here. It's locked, all right.
Caramba, tá difícil achar esse negócio, hein? Será que bugou? O que eu faço? Pra onde eu vou? Eu bato, ninguém abre. Que eu já fui, será? Acho que eu fui ontem à noite. Acho que eu já fui. Se mudou alguma coisa, sabe?
I will return later.
Tem pra mim.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby. This district seems to get uglier every year. Distribute flowers this night. A lot of people are talking about this colossal. Perhaps I should look into it.
Tá bugado isso. Só falso. Se tiver bugado, eu não vou começar esse jogo. Vou ficar aqui que um idiota.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Joe, please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barry.
There is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Se eu não gostar já, bugado isso, cara. Bugado demais, nossa.
I'm blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your daily
Good
routine.
evening, Doctor. Can I?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has...
No. Except for that strange man.
Where can I find this?
He spends...
Good.
Eu já vim falar aqui porque tá bugado o jogo, cara. Fiquei meia hora olhando lá o cara parado. Procurando gente, tem que voltar aqui de novo. Nossa, Vale a pena dar esse stun, cara. Nossa senhora.
Good evening, Mr. Nivicott.
And good evening.
May I What can you tell me about an old man called
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was
not interested.
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing.
I'm looking Dorothy. Did you know the Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nivicott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious?
That girl has not an ounce of malice.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Tell me, Mr. Nivicott.
The place is not beautiful.
Do you not think...
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of...
What can you tell me about...
Not much. And that's the...
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But...
And have you ever tried to learn more about her?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma.
I'll leave...
Blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your daily illusions.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Don't be afraid.
People are talking about this Colossus.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
It's locked, all right.
I need help!
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along? We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
E não vai falar com ela porque ela tá lá, o que aconteceu, nada.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
No. Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime. So, here is my proposition. I'll look the other way on your little enterprise. In exchange, you will resign from the Pembroke Hospital and provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
Dr. Reed! That sounds like a business proposition. My accomplice, then?
No, just a privileged client. My research may require the occasional rare piece of equipment or ingredient. I'll pay good coin in exchange, Fair and honest, to help finance your noble endeavors.
We have ourselves a deal, Doctor. Good customers are always welcome.
Yes, Nurse Crane. We have a deal. I cannot enter. It's locked.
Fuck, he's fast!
This one's mine! That's gotta hurt! stinks already. Get your weapons ready! We found one! Shot him! Shot him! Fuck, it's fast! Burn it, boys! Stab! Finish it. Filthy fucking beast!
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Doctor. If you want to talk to Dorothea...
We've not been formally introduced.
I am Darius.
So Dorothy, tell me everything.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor.
Are you not worried?
She is as brave as she is tough. And clever, too. If only I had...
Are you in love with Camille?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was...
Who is she, really?
She's not from around here, that's all.
You say she has no...
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man, for sure.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nithick?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as...
You could have told...
As a great writer recently said.
Tell me
I do...
How did you meet Nurse Crane?
I'm her oldest friend in England.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you?
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with...
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't...
But Romania escaped the grasp.
It is not the country I fought for.
Do you have...
Will not...
This war won't last for...
No. I have taught.
Don't be embarrassed, sir.
It's quite awkward to talk about our facts.
Goodbye, Mr.
Yes?
Do you need some...
I am very tired.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Bom pessoal, vou dar uma descansada pra esse capítulo, tá bom já. Até a próxima.